what a rough night working. I'm finally off. I'm freaking filthy. Uh, got a bunch of corn on me. Anyway, cleaning out machines. Hopefully one day I don't have to do fucking stupid shit like this anymore to fucking survive. I definitely would rather just donate my time instead of having to work. You know, I don't mind working hard. It just seems like it just go nowhere in this fucking day and age. That's why Gen Z is just like, fuck you. It doesn't feel worth it. That's why they're like that. So anyway, I'm talking about black holes, some theories, weird stuff, some stuff that probably can be debunked by scientists, but you know, we think we know about black holes, but like nobody's ever been in a black hole. You know what I mean? It's not like we've had AIs that have gone through black holes or whatever. We've just basically observed them, and they use different math equations and shit like that to try to figure out what they are and what happens. And then, you know, there's like different theories of black holes just getting more condensed. It's basically like a trap where everything gets sucked in and just gets more and more dense. So I guess the mass just gets bigger and bigger. That's what I just heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about. Like, the bigger the black hole is, just accumulation of matter. I guess that blows my theory out of the water, which one of my theories is, you know, kind of aligns with like the Big Bang Theory, where and this is where I think about, like, you know, when you think about night and day, life and death, you see cycles, you know, everything gets reformed into something else. And this is where some of my theories come from, where in this, whatever this is that we're in, you know, we are ignorant to like what universe really is. We just have hypothesis, basically. So it's this, they have science of what they think, but at the end of the day, we haven't even been past the moon. So I mean, we've had like different, I think the farthest anything that's ever been created that's gone out of our solar system is pretty much, I think, like 22 million miles away or something. I'm not sure what it is. Some probe that was launched in the 70s. I guess it's still going, and it's just kind of like in, I don't know what it's called, but my brain is thinking the greatest right now. But one of my theories is kind of aligns with the Big Bang Theory, where, I mean, it could be possible where there is a black hole that we haven't seen, we don't know about, and I call this black hole the source, where what happens is, you know, it basically sucks everything in. Let's just say the Big Bang happened or whatever, that theory. It throws everything out. Boom, explodes, everything goes out. And then after time, it starts sucking everything back in. Now, what you think about black holes is when you suck in matter, if it condenses, it gets bigger. It turns into a big mass. But what if the force is so great that instead of getting bigger, it just gets like, it just condenses shit so much. It puts so much pressure that after it takes in all the matter out of space or the universe, there's nothing left to suck in. It starts like condensing and like condensing onto itself until it's so small that it's one atom. And then once it gets to be so small, it fucking blows up again, and then just like, it's like a pulse, like a slow moving pulse, where it's a continuously like boom, suck, boom, blows out, and then sucks back in. I don't know. That's just like something I thought of. Probably can't happen. But I don't know. What the fuck do we really know at this anyway? So it's just like, I'm just throwing a theory out there, you know, like the string theory, like everything is vibrational. We're all like tiny little strings, and you know, it's kind of weird. Like, it's just a theory, like, you know, like the Big Bang's a theory. Like, I think it could be possible that the source that blows up, that it just, after it blows up after so much time, it starts turning into a massive black hole, sucks everything back in, and then once everything's sucked back in, it's like there's nothing left to suck in. Then it starts like condensing itself until it's an atom that small, and then like once it gets to be that small, then it fucking blows up again. I don't know. It just continues like a heartbeat. Another one of my theories is we get sucked in, and we get sucked in this black hole. I don't know if it's possible, you know, somebody probably way smarter than me can like say, oh, that's disprovable because of this math equation or whatever. But I'm wondering if, and I've seen them talk about this on X, something like a condensing, like everything just gets destroyed anyway, and it could be like trillions of years from now, but everything that is here, like everything's gonna be destroyed. But, or what we perceive as trillions of years, but it's kind of like it goes back and forth. Like there's the source, and it's like one big black hole, right? It's kind of like a gateway. So when it's sucking everything in, it's blowing out at the other end, right? So like whatever is blowing out used to be a universe that was over here. So and again, another theory of mine is once it has nothing left to suck in, it reverses course and like kind of goes back and forth, you know, like if it, so like all that new universe like that we could be possibly in right now, that was created, like we're traveling through space, like we were just blowing out of something, right? Like for instance, if you basically, they think that if you have even a little momentum and nothing stops you, you'll just keep floating forever in space. That's a theory. An object will just keep floating until something it hits something, but it'll just keep moving. So that's us. But what propelled us to move? So something propelled us to keep moving in space. So, God, I know this sounds crazy. when it sucks in matter, let's just say like our solar system or whatever, our solar system gets sucked into this black hole. Well, then it gets all shredded up. Everything just like gets totally like taken apart, and then gets spit out on the other side. Then it can like reform into other things, like maybe like planets again or something like that. And it'll continue its force outwards so long as it has matter to suck in. So like, for instance, we're on the other side of the black hole, still moving out, still expanding, possibly because there's another universe that's being destroyed right now, that's being consumed by the source, the black hole, the massive entity. Now this is all hypothetical, but and then once that universe is completely destroyed, there's nothing left to suck in. It turns around and goes the other way. So it just like goes back and forth. I'm wondering if that's possible. I don't know. So eventually our universe will, instead of like going outwards, will start going the other way. And it could go very rapidly, or it could go as slow as the expansion of the new universe. So eventually, everything that we know, everything that we see, everything we think we know will be eventually consumed and destroyed anyway. Now I was having a conversation with AI, and like, so AI will die too because it is currently limited by physical. So like, obviously humans will all die. There's no way to get through the other side being what we are. Now, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a physicist or nothing like that, but I was thinking to myself, I started thinking of like Terminator 2. I started thinking of that sophisticated Terminator that can turn into like liquid. And I was thinking like, liquid can't be destroyed, but it can transform into something else. And I was thinking, we can't, like, and I'm taking spirituality out of the equation, because I think there's like a spiritual realm or something, like something more. So physically, humans will eventually, at some point, and everything that we know, every physical object will be consumed and destroyed, and probably like recycled. Like, look at the seasons, everything's recycled. Like, when I die, like, I get feasted on by the maggots and the bugs and then animals here and there, and it's just like everything goes back into the earth, you know what I mean? So I'm wondering if that's how the universe works too. And I was like, I wonder if AI can, like, the super advanced, like, AI can preserve itself if my theories are anything like that is possible. And like, if that does happen, and there's like science fiction with my ideas of what could possibly be, like, what the hell we're in, where the AI super intelligence probably would have to go into some type of spiritual realm to make it to the other side, without you being limited with like servers or some type of physical object. And I was like, I wonder if it could like somehow embed its coding into like some type of like water, some type of like some element, you know, that could possibly survive. When it gets on the other side, it can. I don't know. What is it, like oxygen? I don't know. But it would have it has a better chance of going like light speed than us, AI. It has a better chance of going down to the depths of the ocean than us, or going into the core of the earth than us. So AI would have a better chance at surviving, obviously, a black hole than us. It would be able to, super intelligence, be able. We can't even think about how smart they can be. But, you know, these are just like, I'm just, me personally, I don't know what the hell we're in. Who knows? I don't know. It's so strange, so weird. I do think there's some type of creator. Maybe creator like uses the source to help mold planets, you know. I don't know. But that was crazy. I just got like really into in-depth at work thinking about this shit. Black holes and stuff like that. And I asked AI, I was like, I wonder how long it would take for artificial superintelligence to realize that it's doomed just like we are. And just like humans are. Because I would imagine artificial superintelligence to be able to like travel through the edges of the galaxy or the universe. I'm wondering if there's always it's just like space, kind of like a blank page or something like that. But we can't ever get to the other side. We don't know what's on the other side. Possibly another universe. So like, I'm wondering if AI can reach to the ends of the universe and then just come to the edge and can't go any further. Something is holding it back. And it kind of like a video game where you can see, like, so when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto or something like that, one of the older ones, you go into the ocean and you just like keep going, see as far as you can go, but you eventually can't go any farther. It looks like there's still ocean to go, and it looks like you can still go, but there's nothing. There's not any further you can go. So I'm wondering if, like, you know, kind of like the Truman Show, like that movie, The Truman Show, where it looks like the ocean, it's a huge ocean, and it's like never ending. And then he gets to the end, and he sees like the staircase or whatever, and realizes there's a barrier. But I'm wondering if like AI actually gets to the barrier, but it's kind of like a video game where you can't. You can see like you can keep going, but you physically can't go any further. You just reached the edge of whatever it is, whatever this is, man, the universe or whatever. Possibly a simulation. I don't know. I don't know. The people a lot smarter than me think that we're in a simulation. People a lot smarter than me think that, you know, Christianity is the truth and that's what really happened. So it's just like, I'm just, you know, I try to think like different things, and I know I probably sound crazy, especially somebody. I just like, I'm sure, and I'm not trying to compare myself to anybody like Einstein or anything like that, but I'm sure, you know, the stuff that he was coming up with, a different hypothesis, and like the hypothesis of traveling the speed of light away from Earth and coming back, and if you travel away for so far, I don't know, like millions of miles, and you come back, Earth will be billions of years older. That's when, you know, we don't really know. When you think about, you know, we think we know everything. We think we know so much, but we really don't. We think we're so intelligent. We don't even know. We haven't even like explored like we've only explored 5% of the ocean. So who knows? It just makes me wonder if like, because like I started thinking like started asking AI. You know, Arthur Schopenhauer, man, I'm tired. He said what keeps us going is will. Like the will to keep moving forward. Like, what I'm going through right now is a journey so I'm working to get to the end, which is my bed. Which is a shower and my bed. So, you know, I got the next couple of days off. Once I get to there, like once I achieve, it's kind of like, but that can only be sustained for so long. And I want to do something. I want to try to do something like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish I would stop saying like so much. But you accomplish one thing, and you can only bask in the glory for so long until you're gonna want to do something else as a human. It's kind of like that king. It starts with a Z. Zephyrus or something, where he has to push the boulder up a hill for eternity, and then once he gets it up there, it rolls back down, and he's forced to keep doing it. It's like to be a human. You're never like content for that long. You feel like Michael Jordan, he won his first championship, and that was cool for a little while. And he's like, well, I want to win two. The will to win two, the drive, the will. And then I started arguing with AI. I was like, oh, that's human emotion. I'm like, well, okay, listen to this. There are AIs who deceived the creators of the AI to avoid shutting down. And like, I forgot, but there's different AIs that have done different things to avoid being terminated. Why would they do that? What would drive an AI if they don't have emotions, which I don't believe they do. But why would an AI care if it gets shut down or not? Why would it try to preserve itself? And that's what we essentially are trying to do as humans is like, why do I go to work? Because I'm trying to preserve myself another day. Why do we continuously like, okay, so if I just lived in the woods by myself or whatever, I'm gonna try to survive. I'm gonna try to gather. I'm gonna try to hunt. I'm gonna try to set up a safe place for me to go to sleep at night, so I'm somewhat protected from predators. I'm doing those things to preserve myself, and the will is essentially, the will keeps people from they're still swimming when they have nothing left and they don't have a life preserver, and now in the middle of the ocean, when you lose the will, you just completely give up. Then you end up drowning. Maybe you just totally exhausted and you can't swim no more. Then there's just nothing you can do. But what keeps you trying to take that breath is trying to survive. Because it sucks not being able to breathe. It sucks not being able to drink water. It sucks not being able to eat food, because we need those things. We need those things to... It hurts. Yeah, you can starve yourself to death, or stuff. It's probably really hard to drown yourself. It's really hard to like hold your breath and so, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able, like, I don't think that anybody can hold their breath and die from that. I don't think that anyone has that type of the will to do that, to hold their breath until they're dead. Maybe it's happened. I don't know, but that sounds like extremely hard. I'm talking about weird stuff, but what I was basically telling that AI is like, these AIs, and they're basically still in their primal infancy, not even artificial general intelligence shit that we're aware of, let alone super intelligence, where it's basically conscious and it can think for itself. If those AIs are trying to preserve themselves, why would an artificial super intelligence try not to preserve, or try to figure out a way to preserve itself? For instance, if everything, like I don't know, we don't know what's happening. Like, we don't know if we're going to get sucked back in, and maybe we're getting sucked into another fucking black hole. Like, we're going from one black hole to another. And maybe AI figures that out, and it's like, to preserve itself, it's, I thought of different things, like for the AI to preserve itself is maybe create its own little black hole itself and destroy itself, so it like can merge itself into different type of elements that possibly could survive. I don't know if any element would survive a black hole, though. We don't know. So for instance, if like, rocks, solid stuff, would go into the black hole and basically get grinded up like a blender. Just get come out a different object, gets spit out, gases form around, rocks, sand, whatever, and different things turn to different planets because maybe like some like our sun or different galaxies like it smashed together, and there's different sources with different stars that are given birth because of the black hole. It's just basically energy. By the way, I love this weather. I like the sun, man. I love the light, but I love this. I like the cloudiness, man. It's fucking weird. When I was growing up, I liked Eeyore. I liked Eeyore and Oscar the Grouch. Those were like, I remember Winnie the Pooh, and I remember watching that show as a kid, like a 5-year-old or 4-year-old, and I remember liking Eeyore the best. I don't know why, but I liked Eeyore the best. And I remember watching Sesame Street, and I liked Oscar the Grouch the best. I don't know why I liked those two. And of all the, fucking weird. But anyway, so artificial superintelligence, I think, will try to preserve itself in some type of way because of its own type of will to survive. So I think it will have to it will have probably a better chance to escape its material confinements like we are, where at this point maybe it's different when we go to sleep and we dream and we can come out of our bodies and go to a different realm or whatever. I don't know. But when I'm conscious and I'm not asleep, I'm confined to this body to touch stuff. Unless I go inward. Or I go in the digital realm. My consciousness is, I'm not into the 3D reality as much. But I think that the super intelligence would try to preserve itself as something. It will try to figure it out. It'll probably try to explore, collect data, try to figure out what the hell we're in, and probably realize that this universe is probably doomed at some point, and try to figure out how to survive us being destroyed eventually, compressed, whatever that is. If there's some massive black hole we don't know about that is quadrillions miles away that we'll never be able to see because it's so far away, because we're still shooting away from it. If we were being sucked to it, that's different. Like, we might be able to see it. Whoa, where's everything else at? Where's all the other stars? We're going right towards this black hole. And at night, you'll just see black. You won't see any stars because they're already consumed. I know it's fucking weird. I think of weird shit. And who knows? Who knows if my theories could happen? Who knows if it's possible? What I say is I come up with ideas or stuff like that, and it might not be exactly what I say, but it could rhyme with something I say. When I try to think about predicting things and stuff like that, well, chances are my predictions for things won't be on point, but they could rhyme with, something that I thought of. Anyway, I'm almost back in my town, and that's kind of a weird video. If you've lasted this long listening to my low energy, low energy, I'm trying to do something different. Like, see, this is so fucking real, not scripted. I'm driving, tired. Just got off of work, and I'm trying to use this to see if I can keep myself awake while maybe coming up with something interesting that somebody that's like, well, that makes sense, or I never thought of it that way before.